Hey guys, it's Alex. So today we're talking 6R80. You guys that follow me know that I bought the 2015 Mustang with the most boring transmission on the planet. I took my balls, I threw them in the glove compartment box, and I said, let me buy an auto. Why did I buy an auto? Number one, I get to learn the intricacies of the 6R80. I get to learn exactly what makes it tick, how I want it to shift, so that when customers tell me, hey, it's doing this and this and that, I can vet it on my car. The moment I have an issue with this transmission, boom, T56 goes right in. Oh, but Alex, you're gonna slow it down. Maybe, but at least I'll have my balls back and I'll be able to enter classes that I think are cool as shit. Stick shift classes to me are the epitome of racing and drag racing. Stick shift, when the man is actually controlling the car, in my opinion, it's better than relying on an automatic transmission to shift for you. Yeah, the auto might be faster, but I sure have my balls back. So, what are the weak points of the 6R80? We're now starting to see big boy horsepower cars starting to have common failures with the 6R80. A lot of you guys that own Roush RS3s, Lebanon Ford equipped Roush vehicles, VMP vehicles, turbo vehicles that have the 6R80 are wondering, what's it gonna hold up to power-wise? What's it gonna do in terms of when I make 800, when I make 900, potentially 1,000? That 1,000 horsepower number is so desirable to people, and don't get me wrong, you can get caught up in it easily, but then you got to start upgrading the transmission, because a lot of you guys that are making 1,000 horsepower have the stock drive shaft, stock axles, because you're not really racing it. You really just want a horsepower number. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, if you ever lean on this guy, shit's gonna blow up. But the 6R80 is actually pretty stout from the factory. From the factory, you can make 700, 800 horsepower to the wheel, and the 6R80 isn't really gonna be bad. It's actually gonna be pretty good. Now, there are upgrade kits out there. There are clutches, there are intermediate shafts, there are center supports, and you can get them from anywhere, Power by the Hour being one of them. This, truth be told, this is a 2-year-old Power by the Hour build. We have run 800 rear wheel horsepower through this car for 2 years. Have not had an issue. It had a big converter in it back in the day. Right now it's, it's sporting a stock converter because it's making a good chunk of boost, and I want it to be a little controllable off the line, and 90% of our customers have stock converters, so I'm gonna make sure I have a stock converter in this car so that if a customer has an issue, I can try to duplicate it on this car. But what can you do when you're making way over that horsepower number? A lot of guys out there are out there racing their 6R80 classes on Mod Motor Nationals. You notice there was a 6R80 class, and a couple of cars suffered failures. And the common failure of the 6R80 recently, anything over 1,000 horsepower, is the front planetary assembly. I'll show you what that looks like shortly. It's a cast piece, but I'm going to show you what that looks like, and what a shop down here in West Palm Beach, Florida, Power by the Hour, is doing to fix that problem. So speaking of 4R200, this car was the first car that I know of that had a 4R200 installed in the wild and actually racing with a 4R200 in it. This is Joey Basil's twin turbo Coyote that has gone 830 at Mod Nationals. It cut an insane low 1.2 60-foot time on that 4R200. Literally hung the tires past the 60-foot mark. Whole bunch of fun. So this guy has a 4R200. This guy has a 4R200. This car doesn't really make a whole bunch of horsepower, but it literally dropped like 3/10 just by installing a 4R200 transmission. I'm going to show you what part you need to make your 6R80 a 4R200 and try to explain to you in a simple way what it does and how it works. So what the 4R200 does is, now this is a forward planetary assembly. After talking to Jake a little bit, he told me this is solely for gear reduction, and it works in conjunction with the rear planet to give you 4, 5, the 4th and 5th gears. The 4R200 piece that makes it all happen is this guy. Okay. This guy basically eliminates these little guys right here, and you now have a transmission that goes 1, 2, 3, 6. It doesn't go 1, 2, 3 and then eliminate, like anything. Basically, it goes 1, 2, 3, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 4 in the tune, and 4th is overdrive. Oh, this is a new hub.
4th is overdrive, 0.69.
0.69.
It's the same overdrive you have right now.
Okay, so it doesn't change overdrive. So basically, this is what your forward planet looks like. This gets replaced with this guy, and it then becomes magically a 4R200.
Yes.
So now this is a weak point. At about what power level do you start seeing these guys start to fucking explode? Not explode, but start to get heat marks in the bearings and all that shit.
I think it's mainly over time, power level. I mean, once you get past 900 horsepower, it's in the zone for potentially being a problem.
Right.
You know, so I'd say conservatively 800 and up, you start putting a lot of stress on this as you go down the track.
And what can it look like when it lets go? Like when you guys tear something apart, what does it look like when it starts to let go?
When it starts to let go,
yeah,
you'll see a lot of bluing on the edges of the gears. These bearings really start getting hot. And
I'll shut the door. Don't worry. We can keep rolling. That's how we do it here. Bam.
You just get a lot of heat stress and so forth here in the bearings. And we've done tests in the past where we changed the bearings, and we thought that was really going to alleviate a lot of the issues. And strengthening the case would be a good idea as well. But at the end of the day, in the testing of those components is how we ended up with the idea for the 4R200.
So basically, eliminate fourth and fifth, retain sixth, so the transmission goes 1, 2, 3, 4, which is really your overdrive, fourth gear, and basically that eliminates the weak link of the forward planet, which allows you to put a lot more power to the car, and it does change the gear ratios, which I'll go over later, because you know we'll see what the stacking is, 1, 2, 3, and then what rear gear will complement that. But Frank showed me that.
This is what happens when it actually breaks. And it's, well, sorry.
That's your forward planet.
It's kind of like your brain on drugs here.
Holy shit. So basically
This
at about,
one broke.
so this is, I believe this is Donnie's. I'm not 100%.
I think so, yeah.
Donnie was making 830 rear wheel horsepower, and on the 2-3 shift, it said, bye, I quit. He punched out, and
See a lot of the bluing from the heat.
yep, I see. Oh yeah, look at that. Like it's almost like a thrust washer, just kind of rubbing. So basically, someone told me this thing is spinning at insane RPMs too.
I've heard 14,000, 18,000 RPM depending on the gear.
And this is cast. This isn't some kind of forged crazy piece. So this guy will fucking, I mean, I can't imagine these little gears spinning that crazy RPM and then hanging out. So basically, you take the 6-speed, make it a 4-speed with this part, the 4R200 hub, eliminate fourth and fifth, still retain lockup, overdrive, and you beef up the transmission, and it's basically a stock case. You can just bolt right in, have the ability to make 1,500 horse, no problem, and eliminate the weak link, which is the forward planet. Basically, this guy, I believe, sits in here, and if this guy lets go, it takes everything else with it, and it chews it up pretty good. So it's a bad time. If you're making 800, 900 rear wheel horsepower, it's probably time to consider 4R200 hub. Keep it out of the fourth and fifth. Keep this guy from rotating a zillion RPMs and taking out your whole transmission. You were talking about what the 6R80 actually means.
What 6R80 means, and it's on the side, well, it's just a 6R, but it means 6-speed, reverse. It's capable of 800 foot-pounds of torque.
Okay.
So we developed this looking at the gear ratio and kind of what the components are. That's why we came up with a 4R200, because now it's a 4-speed reverse and it's capable of 2,000 foot-pounds.
Ah, so the 20 or 200 is add another zero, the 80 add another zero, 800. So that's how the 4R70 works and how, oh, got
That's
it.
how, what those names mean in the Ford world, or whoever designs it for Ford or whatnot.
Gotcha. Very cool. Good to know, brother. As you can tell, I do nothing professionally, or I don't really have the nice fancy software, but I'm going to pretty much show you where to look it up on the website. You go to Power by the Hour, pbhperformance.com, go to the, I believe the tech section, or the products, 6R80 transmission. Let me move around, and you're going to go to 6R80 transmission components, and right there she is, the 4R200 hub, and it explains everything you need to know. The gear ratio, 274, 154, and 1 to 1/3, with the overdrive being the same as 6R80 stock. And right here they have recommendations for gear ratios for 4R200, okay? For 170 to 200 mile an hour top speed with a 28-inch tall tire, use 350 for what? This is a 331 or 355 for that mile an hour range. If you want to be in the 165, 170 range, 355 to 373, and if you're in the lower range, like in my power level, you know, I'd probably be at the 373 range, and I should be trapping in the mid 150s, I would hope, for making around 800 plus rear wheel horsepower. So there you go, pretty much kind of giving you a quick rundown of what the 4R200 is and where to find tech info about it over at pbhperformance.com. So there you go, guys. A lot of you guys that have high horsepower automatic transmission vehicles, you're going to have to decide what you're going to do. You're going to roll the dice at 1,000 rear wheel horsepower and stick with the stock from Planet, or source a billet from Planet for 1,100 bucks, upgrade to the 4R200 hub, make it a 4-speed, eliminate 4 and 5, and have something that's capable of 2,000 torque and, you know, eliminate the front planet from destroying the front end. Will the red car get one? Not sure. It all depends. I can put a set of 373s in there from a performance package or anything like that with a iron differential, and it'll actually be pretty good. I'd have to drive one, see what it's like, but it's out there for you high horsepower guys, something to consider. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you later. I think something's on the dyno. Let's see if I can catch the run. What'd it make, Jake?
734.
734, 731 on pump gas.
Yes.
2.4 and a 10%.
10%.
Kenny Bell throttle body and an XBA.
XBA, Kenny Bell throttle body, lone tube headers, stock mufflers.
Yeah. You gotta get on camera, man. You're a handsome man. You gotta get on
I thought
camera.
you're not supposed to look at the camera.
You're supposed to look at the camera.
Look at
People
the-
like
right at
they
the
think they're
camera,
looking
right
right at
there?
you. Exactly.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, sir. Okay, they just loaded the E85 tune in the car. Let's see what it makes. $730 on pump gas, and how much?
801, 794.
Oh shit, very nice. Stock bottom end, everything is just stock blower, just 10%, 2.4,
XBA.
E85, long tubes. That'll work. Thank you.